I ride because I enjoy riding, not because I need to get somewhere by a given time. I like to leave a little bit earlier than the rest of the group, particularly if we're going off on tour and it's day one. I like to leave in the morning. Some people will leave when they finish work, some people will have half day and leave early afternoon. I like to take the day off and leave earlier in the day, and then I know that I can take a leisurely stroll, stop somewhere nice for lunch, explore a few little by lanes, a few little extra windy roads, and just enjoy the ride. And I'll meet up with everybody at the first night's venue, and then from there, obviously, we'll have a route planned through Europe, which will be interesting. Someone will have taken the time to map that route out and, well, you know, make it good fun for everybody with some nice stops along the way, some great evenings out, you know, some nice little towns and villages that we can stay in where we can have a good time, we can have a beer, we can catch up, we can socialise with each other, you know, we can forget about the worries of the week and just thoroughly enjoy ourselves. So the point is, why rush? You know, we've got these fantastic scooters that we spend all winter tinkering with, getting them ready for the spring, for the summer, you know, for the autumn, for the months where you can ride and you can enjoy yourselves, and, you know, really make the most of, while we still can, make the most of those classic scooters that we all love and is in our blood. It's, why go from A to B when you can go from A to B via C, D, F and G, and, you know, explore, take your time, enjoy the countryside. You know, I guess going back to the tour thing and the whole day one, we're in the UK. The plan is that we're going to be travelling through France, we're going to be travelling through Belgium, Holland, Germany, Spain, wherever it is, Portugal, and the mindset is very much that the first night we have a social in the UK, and then after that we're properly on tour. But I guess my mindset is the minute I leave the house, the minute I kick the scooter over and pull off the drive, then I'm on tour. And just because we're still in the UK and we're only heading, I don't know, 80 miles up the coast to the Channel Tunnel or 40-50 miles down the coast to the ferry, that doesn't mean that I'm not on tour. So I'll try to enjoy that bit of the ride as well, hence leaving so early in the morning, and giving myself and anyone who's travelling with me that opportunity to not just take a leisurely ride and soak it all in, but to go off and explore en route. For example, last time we went off on tour, a couple of us fancied taking a little bit of a detour and doing that road in Quadrophenia that goes down to Beachy Head. It's a great little windy bendy road, and, you know, it maybe takes, I don't know, 10-15 minutes to get down, 10-15 minutes to get back. Doesn't really add a huge amount onto your journey, but if you leave a little bit earlier, you can really enjoy that. So, you know, it broke up the monotony of driving on a dual carriageway for 45 minutes to an hour. Gave us a little bit of bendies to enjoy, an ice cream at the end, and then we turned around and did it all again uphill. Absolutely lovely, thoroughly enjoyed it, and then we pushed on to our venue, maybe stopped a couple of other places on the way, and just really thoroughly kind of enjoyed the ride. So in my mind I'm thinking, well, you know, we rush around all week. You know, we've all got a 9 to 5 or probably a 9 till 9 in this day and age. We charge around all week, we've got to meet this deadline, that deadline. When I get the scooter out, that's different. That's my time, that's my escapism. That's where I get to just like enjoy myself. It's a little bit selfish, but it's good to make that little bit of time just for yourself. And it helps to clear your mind. I mean, why do we ride? Whether you ride, you know, an adventure bike or a sports bike or a classic Lambretta or Vespa, why do we do it? You know, it really is a tough thing to explain to anyone who doesn't ride a motorcycle. But I would say it's pure escapism. It's that little segment of time that you can take entirely to yourself. When you're out on the road, yeah, you're concentrating on what you're doing, you need to do that. But also you're kind of, sounds a bit cliche, but you're at one. You're at one with nature, you're at one with your own thoughts. You can shut the whole world out. You know, all your worries kind of like fade away for that time while you're riding. And you can really like zone in, and it can give you that little burst that you need to get yourself back on track if you're a little bit disillusioned, or if somebody's annoyed you or upset you at work, and you can come home and get the scooter out and, you know, go ride up over the hills or the dales or the downs in our case. Maybe find a pub, stop for an orange juice and lemonade, you know, a lager zero. Just chill out for a little bit and then enjoy the ride back home again. And that can be enough just to revitalise you, just to get you back on track. And kind of, you know, that's a lot of why I do what I do. It's a lot of why I ride. It's a lot of why everybody rides. But when you're on a bike or a scooter, you do have to think about what you're doing. You do have to concentrate, but equally you see more, you experience more. You're, as I said, alone with your thoughts a little bit more. You have time to contemplate, you have time to mull over the problems that perhaps you've gone through during the day. It can, strangely, a ride can help you get some clarity, and, you know, help you find the answers. I often will come home from work and get the scooter out and just go. And yeah, sometimes I'll phone a mate and we'll go for a ride together, but more often than not I'll just get on it and ride. And I'm not riding anywhere particular, I don't go anywhere particularly far away, but if I do a 50-60 mile round trip, you know, that can be enough. That can be enough just to get your mind back on track, just to get you back in the zone. And you know, other people have other ways of coping, but for me, that it works. You know, it just works. I'm part of a scooter club that is almost 40 years old, and I've been around it for 40 years. I absolutely adore riding scooters. It's my passion, it's what I do, and I totally love the scooter club, everybody in it. It's a great way to socialise. It's a great way to forge friendships for life. You know, they are, in many respects, they're my brothers. You know, they are not just people that I meet up with once a week on a Thursday evening in a localish pub, but you know, we plan trips, we're away together a lot, we thoroughly enjoy each other's company, we help each other out in any way that we can. You know, there's some cracking mechanics within the club, there are electricians, there are plumbers, there's a photographer. You know, if whatever you need, there's someone within the group that will always be there to help you, and that's a massive thing. It is a massive thing, and I think the older you get, the more you kind of rely on those people, those friendships. You know, I see so many sort of older people that, you know, tend the garden, and I don't know, they kind of see like going to the shops as a bit of an event, and I don't want to be like that. when I'm retired. I don't want to. I want this to continue. I want to still be part of this amazing scooter club. I want to still be part of this amazing scene. And I want to ride as long as I can ride. And I think you can do that in this scene. You know, there are people in our club in their 70s still happily riding, still happily touring, and thoroughly enjoying it. And the other thing that you don't get when you ride perhaps a big bike, a modern bike, as opposed to something built in the 1960s that's two-stroke and air-cooled and a very small capacity engine, is that sense of satisfaction when you get somewhere. You know, you might only be riding to, I don't know, let's say our next tour is to Brittany in France, which on the face of it isn't that far away. But when you get there, there's a massive sense of achievement that you've done it on these 60-year-old machines. And in a big group, you know, there'll probably be 17, 18 of us that take that trip, and don't worry about it, because I will be recording that trip in some form and sharing that with you, as I have done couple of previous trips. But you know, that sense of satisfaction is immense. It's brilliant. I love it. It's another one of those reasons why we do it. So anyway, that's me in a nutshell, introducing myself to you. Just talking to you a little bit about why I ride scooters, and you know, that kind of almost reverse logic, I suppose, and taking something that, let's be honest, was designed to provide mass cheap transport to the Italian market. You know, give someone a mode of transport that will get them from A to B, but you know, to do your regular everyday things, it might just get you to the office, or it might just get you to the factory that you work in, or it might just get you to the shops and allow you to buy a few provisions and get them home without covering yourself in oil like you might do if you were on a motorbike back in that time. And taking that machine and turning it into something that you can tour across Europe on. And when you come back to work and you know, your work colleagues say to you, "Oh, where you been for your holiday? Where you been for your week off?" And you tell them, "Oh, I've been to Spain on my Lambretta." And they kind of look at you and say, "What? You've been to Spain on a scooter?" Yeah. That's amazing. Like, something that old can get you all the way down there? Yeah, well, it can. You know, there are some clever developers out there that help us to make our scooters more practical in the modern day world. So you kind of are retaining the authenticity of the scooter as it was back in the 60s, but you know, you might have you know, a better barrel and piston, you might have a better exhaust, you might have a better gearbox, you might have a stronger clutch, and all these things have been developed by specialists, not necessarily to just make your scooter go faster, but to make it comfortably keep up with modern day traffic. And then there's, you know, outboard disc brakes. So rather than relying on 60-year-old drum brakes, which were never good 60 years ago, yet alone now, you know, you can have a disc brake on your bike. You can have a front disc. If you're really posh and really loaded, you can have a rear disc as well. And you know, that helps you like stop very quickly in modern day traffic, rather than having to predict what's going to happen 100 yards down the road before you pull the anchors on. LED light conversions. It's little things like that that you can add to the scooter to really make it something that you can ride on modern day roads, that you can ride in modern day traffic, and that you can rely on to get you covering a lot of distance. But at the end of the day, the rest of the bike is still 60 years old, so you do have to respect it, and you do have to help it and nurture it along to make sure that, and look after it, to make sure that you, when you do those rides, that it's in its best condition, and you know, you can rely on it to be your workhorse to get you there and back again. Anyway, that's probably enough rambling from me. I look forward to developing this channel more. I've got some pretty good ideas, I think, to sort of expand it and build on it a little bit more. I hope you're going to enjoy them. Please, if you want to support me and give me that little bit of motivation, like, subscribe, comment, anything that will make me know that there's at least someone out there who's interested in seeing a new scooter related channel develop, and as time goes by, you never know, maybe you'll feature on it. Let's hope so. I look forward to, as I say, developing it further, meeting a few more of you when I'm out and about on my travels. If you see me, stop, say hello. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm signing off here, and I'll see you when I've got something much more interesting to talk about. Cheers.